Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York, Blind. Now, I'm kind of conflicted about the order that I want to pursue those activities because I'm kind of worried that they are going to disappear eventually. But I feel like I'm going to meet Tamika at least once to sort of get the, get a general overview of what she's like and whether I would like to engage in more cooperation with her. So Sophie mentioned a gangrel neonate by the name of Tamika who's made herself a haven in the Prospect Park. The Ferals aren't exactly a social bunch, even by kindred standards, but if you can keep her from clawing your eyes out just long enough, she might be persuaded to join you. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight, teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air, as it would at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's sources fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give up just yet. You take a deep breath, your nostrils fill with the scent of dead leaves and something else. A faint whiff of copper, too subtle for a human to notice, but your newfound kindred intuition tells you that you're in the right spot. Yeah, these are Tamika's hunting grounds, alright. It's more than a hunch, you can feel it in your veins. Now it's only a matter of finding her, unless, of course, she finds you first. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind the line of trees, quick but evenly paced, most likely a late-night jogger. No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but perhaps you could kill two birds with one stone. Do I want to? I'm not that hungry at the moment, I guess, although I did use disciplines 2 times. Yeah, sure, let's take the opportunity. Worst case scenario, I don't think she's going to kill me. Worst case scenario, she's not just going to be, aggressive towards me and then not join me. Which I don't care about that much because out of the four coterie members, she's the one I find the least interesting, at least from her vague description. The order I would like to recruit them in is D'Angelo the Nosferatu, Hope the Malkavian, Agathon the Tremere, and then her last, so sure, let's try it. You lock onto the sound of the footsteps. Predicting the runner's path, you move swiftly but quietly to intercept them. You hide behind a tree and wait for your prey to get closer. Mere seconds later, a young man in an off-brand tracksuit trots into view. You notice the bats in his ears, the beat-heavy music bleeding through. This should make things easier. Just as the man passes by, you emerge from behind him and plant your hand firmly on his neck. He struggles at first, desperately trying to break free of your grasp, but as soon as your fangs pierce his skin, panic gives way to peaceful submission. You feel elated as the warm liquid trickles down your throat. The fresh vitae washes over your senses, sending an orgasmic shiver along your spine. Somewhere in the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind, the beast stirs in its slumber. You stop feeding just in time. Your hunger satiated, the beast falls asleep. You sit the dazed victim on the nearby bench. As the world comes back into focus, you suddenly realize that something is not right. In a split second, the air by the side of your head, swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back, just as 5 finger-shaped razors cut through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistake. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. Looks pretty animalistic, alright, but he's not the one. you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. And he's just about to lunge at you. A snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Out of the shadow emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. Stay out of this, Tam. I smelled him first. Tam, how about that? She raises an eyebrow but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, pretty boy. I'm going to fuck you up so bad, you'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Tamika looks at you expectantly. Is she expecting me to stand up for myself? Because that's kind of the feeling I have. Like they want to test me, right? But to be honest, I am not looking for a fight, and I don't care enough about her specifically. Like I will be content with having D'Angelo the Nosferatu and Hope the Malkavian. I'm not sure if I can have them all. If so, then I can add Agathon as well. If I miss out on her specifically, I'm not going to feel that bad about it. I'm not here to fight. You've made your point, okay? Confirmed badass. I'm not looking for a fight. Tamika tilts her head in a way that's barely noticeable and yet strangely expressive. She seems disappointed. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. The man loosens up, his lips twisting into a wry smile. Clearly, you gave him the confident boost he needed. Figures. You've got that look about you, all style and no substance. Didn't even have to smell you. I know a sissy when I see one. Well, guess what? You ain't getting off that easy, chicken shit. A fierce growl echoes across the island. The alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging at his ear as she was scolding a puppy. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm and yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Raoul. I'll handle it from here. The male gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment. Then he turns back towards you. Fine, they are not worth the effort anyway. Having said his piece, Raoul retreats into the shadow, as if you were to guess, although if you were to guess, he's likely still within an earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika turns to you once more. What do you want? I could use your help. I'm new here and I'm looking for a chance to leave my mark. Maybe shake things up a bit in the process. I could use your help. Why me? My sources claim you're capable. Are they wrong? No, I guess not. But if you're so well informed, you should know that I don't whore myself out for mercenary work. This is different. I'm looking to form a coterie, not exactly employ her. This is different. I don't think I have that kind of money that could persuade you. All I have to offer is my help, and someday maybe my friendship. Do I strike you as someone who needs a friend? To be honest, saying yeah you do might be interpreted as an insult. Do I know that her sire abandoned her? I don't remember, from what Sophie told me. You're looking for a way out. You strike me as someone who's looking for a way out of this park for starters. Is that why you're here? To break me out? Are you my ticket out of here? Well, you can leave with or without me. Look, I'm not stupid. I know you can leave any time, with or without me. I'm just asking for a couple nights of your time. So, what is going to be? For a brief moment she stands there, motionless, looking straight into your eyes, as if trying to size you up. Finally she looks away. It looks like she has come to a decision. Just so that we're clear, I don't trust you. I have no reason to. Frankly, you sound more lost than I am. Still, there is something about you. Most kindred who are this pretty tend to hide rot underneath, but I don't smell it on you. So I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I have some outstanding business to take care of. I'll let you know once that's done. Meet me here and we will see what you're really made of. And with that, Tamika disappears into the night. That went pretty well, all things considered. Okay, can I meet anyone else? Nope, I need to rest. Well, let's do it. You come back to your haven after a long night out. Right before you open the door, you notice something strange. The sound of a television are coming from your apartment. Madman, if you're not mistaken. You open the door and carefully peek in. A young, disheveled woman is curled up on your sofa. She has a blanket pulled on top of her, and she seems very comfortable. Next to her lies an obviously unconscious, preppy woman. Oh, you're home. Oh, and she's literally referred to as a stalker. The woman reaches for the remote and puts Madman on pause. You weren't home, so I started without you. You know, Netflix and chill. Join me, there's space on the sofa. I brought us a snack. You enjoyed it last time. The woman points lazily to the unconscious girl. Oh, I forgot. My name is Adelaide. Adelaide Davis. I like you a lot. Here, help yourself and settle in. To be honest, I feel intensely uncomfortable about this setup, so let's try letting her down gently. Thank you for all that you've done for me. Still, the sun is coming up soon. You don't want to get caught here. Oh, that's so sweet. I don't mind. I can spend the day with you. You're a season ahead of me, I think. Somebody might come in. I am not the only one with the keys to this haven. Somebody might come in. I trust your friends, don't worry. But they might not like you. Then they are bad friends. The doors to your apartment opens. Someone with a key. Sophie. Adelaide Davis, a curse of Snag Harbor in the flesh. This is a new low for you, fledgling. Adelaide looks at Sophie murderously before fading from view. I hate it when they disappear. They should have enough manners to slink away in embarrassment so that we can all enjoy it. Sophie waits for Adelaide's shape to leave the apartment before she speaks. The Clan of the Moon. Did I not advise caution when dealing with them? As you watch, Sophie makes a phone call. 10 minutes later, 2 of her servants arrive to remove the unconscious girl sprawled on your sofa. You clearly need my help. It won't happen tonight, but let me see if I can resolve your stalker problem for real. You're left to wonder what Sophie meant by that as she leaves your haven. Does she mean she's going to kill her? Because that's usually the way vampires go about resolving their problems, right? You've had enough of Adelaide Davis. It's time you head for the Elysium and confront her with Sophie by your side. Sure, let's do it. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well-known, important, and you're a nobody. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you arrive with her. Everyone notices her, and she drinks it in like it's her birthright. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello. You spot the woman Sophie is referring to. Adelaide, your stalker. Intense, disheveled, young-looking. A Malkavian, if you understood correctly. As you approach, Adelaide smiles at you with a darting look of distaste towards Sophie. Don't worry, I don't judge people by the company they keep. That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone. Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in the Elysium, because it makes people glance toward you. I know she's making you do this. Don't worry, we'll be together again later. To be honest, let's stay friends is probably not going to, to work, not going to dissuade her. And to be honest, I would be willing to give her a chance if she didn't go about it the whole stalking way and actually breaking into my apartment, because that's creepy as frick. I feel bad about the prospect of lying to her that I have someone, even though that might be the most effective way of dealing with her. I'm kind of considering giving her a chance, but to be honest, I don't think I would feel comfortable about it after somebody has already been following me and has broken into my apartment when I didn't know and was waiting for me there. Because that already kind of proves that they are not all right in the head, and I probably wouldn't feel safe with them, and I probably wouldn't trust them. So even though I feel like it's not going to work, let's stay friends. I'm not ready for a romantic relationship with you. Let's stay friends instead. That's fine, don't worry, we can stay friends. Friends who kiss and watch Mad Men together. Well, stop pushing a love story on me. Oh, you're such a tease, but I get it. I can wait. We're immortals. The years pass, but feelings we have for each other are precious. You should know that I will always be there, somewhere. Well, isn't that kind of horrifying? Invisible in the night. Sophie chuckles as Adelaide walks away. I suppose that went as well as could be expected. It seems you have a guardian angel. Have fun. As Sophie steps away to chat with her friends, you feel lonely. Surrounded by kindred, you are not sure anyone can help you navigate this bizarre social environment. Do I have more time? Yes, so let's go visit D'Angelo again, finally. The gift that keeps on giving. It's been a while since you heard from D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, or maybe he pissed off the wrong people and is now rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now is as good a time as any to check up on him. You make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and end up on the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. There has been another one. At the scene now. Come to Bedstui, corner of Pulaski and Garvey, ASAP. What's Bedstui? Well, I guess that's a district or something. Obviously, I don't know. I've never been to New York. I've never been to the States. Period. So looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address D'Angelo gave you, a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Avenue onto Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light, and the 4 or so police cars parked on the nearest corner next to an ambulance confirm that you are in the right place. You move closer to what appears to be New York's finest convention, looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk of the street, trying to not draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance of the building looks straight at you. He does a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself, as you notice him making his way towards you. Well, running is making me look guilty as hell, and in fact, in this situation, I know that I am not guilty because I didn't do it. So there is no point in me trying to run, because I have nothing to run from. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street, his sense of authority putting the extra string in his step. Try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit, you can help but mouth the word. It's about to get messy. Suddenly he stops, as if instinctively realizing that he is just a few inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent. Hey, this is an active crime scene. Be on your way. Relieved but trying not to show it, you put your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigars and cheap cologne don't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner. Before you know, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan, parked a half block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. Oh, no. I'm not taking on a whole squad of police. I could, however, maybe use presents to get us in. Yeah, let's try it. Why don't I talk to them? I might convince them to let us in. It gives you a look, as if you just let rip a massive fart. Right. Look, kid, is that not that I don't trust you, but how about we... how about we give that raw animal magnetism of yours a dry run, huh? Pretend I'm one of the cops guarding the entrance. Convince me to let you in. What? What is that about? Is it my thoughts? Convince me to let you in? Okay, I get it now. He's saying, with the dry run, he's saying we should, practice it or something. But obviously, I wasn't counting on the rationality of my arguments to convince them, because there's no way to rationally convince police to allow a civilian to wander into a crime scene. I was thinking about using presents, which they have no choice but to respond to, because they are mortals, right? Yeah, I was thinking about using my powers, to be honest. Evening, officers. You might have not noticed, but I am in fact a vampire, and I have just used my unholy powers of persuasion on your feeble minds. Now why don't you piggies go grab yourself a donuts and fuck off for a while? No, thanks, bye. Well, okay, I guess that might work. See? Nothing to it. Fair enough. Go get them, Tiger. I'll stay close by, just in case things go south. You get out of the car, slamming the door a bit too loudly for your own good. As you cross the street, you already feel you've made a big mistake. Oh well, too late to turn back now. Might as well give it your best shot. As you approach the cop, your whole body tenses up. It's funny that this would make you nervous, considering everything you've seen these past few nights, and yet it does. The two officers seems to be engaged in a heated debate regarding last night's Mets game. You stop just a few steps away and open your mouth. Whatever's about to come out, it better be good. Sure, let's... let's try it. The game seemingly is communicating to me that it is a really bad idea. So maybe I should have should have suggested that D'Angelo uses his obfuscate invisibility to somehow sneak in. And obviously that wouldn't solve the problem of me getting in. Let's try using presence, I guess. And then, just about as you are about to weasel your way into their unsuspecting minds, you freeze. One of the cops notices you and gives you a slight nod. Yeah, hey, if you're going in, make sure you stay away from 209. It's an active crime scene, you know? And with that, he gets back to arguing whether or not the Empire was brought and paid for or not. Utterly confused, you piece together what's left of your senses and hurry past them. Inside the building, D'Angelo stands in the hallway, dumbfounded. As you open your mouth, he stops you with a gesture. Don't even talk to me right now. So, was one of the cops a vampire himself, or maybe like a ghoul? And he recognized me that I'm just about to use presence, and that's why he spoke to me? In an awkward silence, you both make your way up to the second floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. Just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of something that used to be someone's living room. The place has been completely trashed, knock over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, his gift, our fate. You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters seem similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in thought, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean over a bit, trying to make it not make it obvious that you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night has been kind to them so far, but the questions keep piling on. They've found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. Is he like narrating his own life as if it was a movie or something? Because from what I understand, he's currently describing us discovering this scene, right? Which is also happening in current time. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers. Suddenly he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye? Another piece of graffiti. His gift, our fate. Yeah, there is that. What do you think it means? Well, I do think the gift is about Cain, right? His gift. Isn't there a theory where Cain was the first vampire? Oh, that's more than a theory. To some, it's a deeply held belief. And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Cain, as in vampirism, our fate. Clearly, somebody wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going. Which is me being right about thin blood involvement, I mean. Anyway, looks like we're not getting anything more out of this place. No way around it. We've got to see the body. Sure, if you have a way to do that. In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be prudent. My thoughts exactly. The Duskborn have it bad as it is. If I'm gonna accuse one of them of breaching the masquerade, I want solid evidence, and I mean rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I know someone who could get us an audience with our dearly departed. To your surprise, he pulls out his cell phone, a busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call. Hey, you know who this is? Yeah. That favor you owe me? Time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one, the murder in Bed-Stuy. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better. With that, he hangs up and gives you a trademark wry smile. Are cell phones forbidden? I'm pretty sure I've seen other vampires use cell phones. Like, what's his name? Kaiser uses a cell phone, but I guess Kaiser is not part of the Camarilla. At least according to himself. Wait, aren't cell phones an issue for the Camarilla? Only if you tell them. Look, kid, I don't use it willy-nilly, alright? It's for special occasions. You don't always have the time to throw fucking rocks at windows. Can you live with that, or should I worry about being sent to the principal's office? I'm not gonna rat on you. In fact, I don't really care that much. Like, I feel the Camarilla has... They are kind of bonkers. They have kind of overcorrected as far as forbidding people from using the internet and cell phones go. Like, you can't really effectively function without having a cell phone nowadays. And in fact, I feel like, in a way, that's even more suspicious. Like, if you meet someone who has no internet presence whatsoever and no cell phone, then to me, that's like 10,000 more times suspicious in modern times than many of the things that the Camarilla are worried about. I'm not going to rat on you. Relax, D. I'm not going to rat on you. He shoots you a smile. For some reason, it seems less crooked than usual. Good to know, kid. Anyway, looks like my guy is going to come true. Next stop, Kings County. Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show his face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that make up the very essence of the vampire's existence, for instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then, you glance over at the undead Gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from the side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to look back and make sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one, "Room 112, you've got 20 minutes. D'Angelo speaks without looking at you. That's our cue. You follow the fanged detective through the same door that the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridor makes it clear he's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body is a middle-aged man. The body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on the steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face, his features twisted in an abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If there ever was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over at D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a similar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Are those teeth marks? Those teeth marks on his neck, is that what I think it is? Yup. Good eye, kid. It's official. Our killer is Kindred. Look at his face, though. Sheer terror. He was fully aware all the way through. Killing aside, no Kindred worth their salt would allow that to happen. Unless they didn't know better. This confirms it. We are looking for a thin blood. Fuck. As if on the cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eye fixed on the clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you yet. Well, D'Angelo himself can disappear, right? And he seems pretty absent-minded, so maybe if I just stay out of his... like, he's clearly concentrated more on his chart and whatnot. So grabbing his attention by talking to him does not seem particularly smart. Maybe if I just hide out of his view, maybe he will just overlook me. Quickly and quietly you hop besides the oversized freezer, hoping D'Angelo will follow suit. Pressed against the wall, you tense up, hoping for the best but expecting the worst. The room, however, remains silent. You peer out behind the freezer and assess the situation. The doctor calmly looks over the victim, jots something down on his clipboard, and walks out. If you could breathe a sigh of relief, you would. D'Angelo materializes from the shadows, lingering against the wall across from you. He gives you a slight nod. Nice save, kid. My first instinct was to jump him, but hey, whatever works. Now come on, let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as it did last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal, D'Angelo, than to arouse the suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself, shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to the nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure that he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like the time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple of minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out front and in D'Angelo's face. Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just about enough of your shit. You wanna pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground and smashes his back against the lamppost. Are you finished? Alright. Now listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than to hang around this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I will start remembering things you would rather forget. For the first time since you've met him, Larson looks speechless. his eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath. You wouldn't dare. Try me. You awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. Oh, maybe it is a good cop, bad cop routine. Well, let's try it. Take it easy, D'Angelo. Let's not make a scene. Why not? I like making a scene. It's not like we're getting shit done. Might as well make a show of it. If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places where my people can find shelter. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable. We'd better. Finally, D'Angelo loses his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder like he's gonna tell the teacher on you. You look onto your partner, meaning to ask what the whole things you would rather forget deal was about. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive matter. Come on, we got what we came from. As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in what appears to be an old garage. On the outside, the place looks uninteresting. Looks as uninteresting as it gets. You think it's abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. On the inside, however, if there ever was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear. I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find. Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. Let's use Auspex. Focusing your senses, you plunge into the full spectrum of the room, hoping to hear someone or something worthy of attention. You regret it almost instantly. The room becomes a deafening echo chamber, a sea of babbling lunatics, of muttered curses and drug-induced ramblings. You're almost ready to give up when a faint whisper catches your attention, a female voice, soft and trembling. The gift, he speaks to us. The blood speaks. A few words are enough to tell you you've hit the jackpot. Follow the voice to its source, a young woman hunched in the corner of the room. As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you. Nice catch. He kneels down beside her. As you can tell, he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravely timbre, it's not really working out. Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk. No, don't talk. Too loud, too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever is inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender. Alright, you like it quiet. Got it. Can you tell me your name? Sana. That's what he called me. Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There is a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies or drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off of her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. What's your business here? As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious species of insect. Suddenly her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. You. Hey Val, it's my assistant you got there. Do you mind? She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a ragdoll. Where is she? You're going to have to be a bit more specific, darling. Don't play coy, Ginny, the manslayer. I know she is here. A blood hunt has begun. By the order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death. Hold on your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too. Look, I'm not here for some clit measuring contest. If you want this to get ugly, be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job. By all means. He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look at the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl. Well, I'll be. I could swear she was just here. Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell that she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this. Story of my life. So how did he do it? Can the Nosferatu make other people invisible? Like, I don't know it. I am vaguely familiar with like the main concepts of Vampire the Masquerade, but to be honest, I'm more of a werewolf guy when it comes to World of Darkness. So I don't know all of the powers from the tabletop. Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction. Come on, kid, let's get out of this shithole. As you emerge from the said shithole, you feel cold night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost. Okay, kid, I know you've got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count. Well, do you know where the girl went? Did you help her escape, or... That's kind of what I gathered from her, from Valerie's reaction. It's still hard to believe that girl is our killer. Do you know where she ran off to? Not sure, but I might have some ideas. The important thing is, we know who are we looking for. Too bad Valerie knows it too. She's a scourge, kid. Part enforcer, part assassin, all around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her, you can bet on that. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid, I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff out and keep looking for our girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two. And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't really say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. Okay, I probably need to rest. Indeed. But anyway, this episode was long enough, so I'm going to end it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.